Alan, thanks so much for coming here from Los Angeles, California, to tell your story. It's a story about the BRCA gene and breast cancer and so many people in your family with cancer that it's almost unbelievable, but we're going to do our best to tell the story.
All right.
We're also going to talk about that you're a Connecticut guy, that you went to UConn, went out west to Los Angeles, produce and direct a bunch of reality shows, documentaries. Tell me just a little bit about what you're doing in Los Angeles right now.
Right now, I'm out pitching shows, creating different type of reality shows, and going to the networks, different networks, and pitching those. But I've worked on everything from been up in the Bering Sea with Discovery Channel, America's Deadliest Season, which launched Deadliest Catch. It was a 4-hour documentary.
Right.
Temptation Island back in the day, which was a bit scandalous.
These good old reality
Yeah.
shows.
Actually, that one was pretty uniformed as far as reality was concerned. In fact, reality's changed over the last 10 years.
And reality is highly scripted in many of these shows. Doesn't want to say. Of course it is. I'll just answer for you.
You know what? There are different types of reality, and being up in the Bering Sea, you're really not going to script things.
Right.
More of the set type of things, and more of the sit downs they're pretty tightly scripted, I would say. And it's everybody knows it at this point, and I really don't care. I mean, when Honey Boo Boo's #1, the state of affairs as far as television are concerned.
Well, you and I have talked a lot about reality, but you have your own personal reality. That is why I wanted you to come on, because so many people have cancer these days. In your family in particular, and we're going to show a piece of this documentary that you're working on that is great, important work that has to do with female breast cancer and male breast cancer. But let me just kind of warm up people, if you will. Your grandmother died of breast cancer. Aunt Carol, ovarian cancer. Sammy, your sister, breast cancer. Your girlfriend, cancer. You, cancer. So let's take the breast cancer gene, you have the BRCA gene. Let's take a look at this documentary that you're working on that sets the stage for what's going on in your life.
And cancer will affect your life sometime. In some way, it will. And cancer is just everywhere. It's not fair that people are passing left and right, but it can be prevented. Everybody has a BRCA gene, and it does protect from cancers. And if the gene becomes mutated, there's a higher risk of different types of cancers. My sister Sammy was 44 when she was diagnosed with triple-negative BRCA2 positive breast cancer. The gene is passed down from a parent, and 1 out of every 2 children would get it. Lisa, who's a middle child, she had a double prophylactic mastectomy because she tested positive for the BRCA gene as well. I just never thought I would test positive. 3 children, 3 siblings tested positive. I don't want somebody to have to sit there with their relative, sister, brother, uncle, cousin, and watch as they just deteriorate into something else. She fought for 3 years and 10 days, and we were with her when she, passed away, and that was, I can't even explain that to anybody. A documentary like this up on the big screen will help people get educated and informed about this cancer realm, pink and blue. Female breast cancer, BRCA, male breast cancer, it has to end. There's a social stigma about men and breast cancer. Men can get breast cancer. That's a fact, that's reality. The percentage of men dying is greater than the percentage of women dying when it comes to male breast cancer because men don't go to the doctor. They'll see something and they'll say, oh, it's no big deal. Early detection is key.
Early detection is key. I'll say it again. Early detection is key for finding out about breast cancer. Now, the folks just saw a little bit about your family. What is coming at you when person after person after person and your 2 siblings and yourself are all testing positive for this BRCA gene?
It's just watching that every time just really gets me going, because it is such a personal story to let other people share, but there's so many families going through it, so many people. It affects everybody. But when it surrounded me, it started in 2008. excuse me, when it started to surround me was my grandmother passed 2 weeks before I was born, but my Aunt Carol, aunt, depends on which side of the coast you're on, right?
Sure.
What do you say?
Aunt, because I was from Indiana.
So she was kind of the glue of the family, and she passed from ovarian cancer. And at that point in time, I thought to myself, well, why isn't there more, press and help about, just more media about ovarian cancer? And I wasn't really thinking about breast cancer until 2008. And that's when my sister Sammy was diagnosed with triple negative and BRCA2 positive breast cancer.
So you're learning really quick what all of this means.
I was and I wasn't. I didn't want to face the reality. I really didn't want to look too hard into it at first. And then as it progressed, and not her disease, but just as as more and more cancers surrounded me, I started reading more and more, talking to specialists at Johns Hopkins, and they were unbelievable. There's a couple angels down there that really helped out tremendously, just picked up the phone and helped me, and they had no reason to help me, but they're the ones who actually said to me, you know what, Alan, your sister's cancer, they're the ones who said to me, your sister's cancer is not curable, it's treatable. And I needed that reality, and saying it hurts and thinking about it now, it's just really resonates. But that's what was needed. And that was the first, I just never wanted to believe she was gonna pass away,
Of course not.
I just didn't want to believe it, think about it. I'm very positive with energy and universal energy and things like that. And I watch her in the hospital bed, and I didn't really want to show that clip, but that's what happens. You go from funny and vibrant and just living life to, just bedridden, and it's horrible, And with my sister, it was breast cancer in 2008, and she passed away in 2011. So 3 years and about 10 days, she was diagnosed on Valentine's Day.
Now give me the timeline when your other sister then finds out the gene, and it's, I want to be BRCA gene 1 or BRCA gene 2.
2.
So she finds out she has it, you find out you have it. In the meantime, you have a girlfriend that has breast cancer and it comes back. Yes,
it was 2009. I started dating Stephanie. She had that's my girlfriend. She had, I'm sorry.
I don't know how you keep all the dates straight.
In 2008, it was my sister. I started dating Stephanie in 2009. She had a lumpectomy in 2006, and they said it was all clear, don't worry about it, there's no signs of cancer anymore. 2009, in a matter of 3 hours, when my sister found out her cancer came back and it was metastatic, Stephanie found out that her cancer came back. I'll never forget those 3 hours. It was just so surreal. And it didn't hit me. I was thinking about them, and my family and my parents and how hard they were taking it. But it was, that day was horrible. I'll never walk into a cheesecake factory again, that's for sure. But during that time, my sister Sammy was battling her cancer, and Stephanie was battling hers. She had a double mastectomy. My sister Lisa then went and got tested. She tested positive for BRCA2 as well.
What led her to get tested? Just because,
information.
Information.
She had the information, and we all said, if you have the information and you don't do something about it, it's kind of silly. For somebody to pass away and they know about it, it's.
But people are scared. They don't get checked.
A lot of people.
So your sister Lisa gets tested. What does she do with that information?
She thinks about it for a while, and she weighs the options. And
she's how old at this point?
She's 45 at this point.
And Sammy died at what age?
47.
Okay.
So Lisa thinks about it. She talks to a lot of doctors. She looks at the percentages, and the percentages are with BRCA2 from 40 to 80% as far as having breast cancer, and about 30% of having ovarian. She had a hysterectomy 2 years prior to, because ovarian cancer ran in the family. It was just a safe move and be protected, because ovarian is scary too. It's silent. There's really no testing.
Usually it's too late when you find out you have it.
And it's ridiculous.
So she knows she has it. She opts for a double mastectomy.
Prophylactic double mastectomy based on everything she did.
When do you find out you have the BRCA gene?
I waited till the end of 2010.
Was this in the back of your mind because most guys wouldn't get checked for this?
Excuse me. I waited till the end of 2011 to get checked, and most guys wouldn't get checked, but both of my sisters tested positive, and Lisa's oncologist kind of guilted me into it, and she said, you should get tested, you should get tested, and I'm really positive, and I just for some reason felt healthy and everything was going to be okay, and I didn't have the gene, and I said, I have the information, I'd be a hypocrite if I don't get checked. So I went and got checked, and when the doctor on the phone said, you should come in, I said, all right, I tested positive, otherwise they would have said something on the phone usually. So I tested positive, and I was all right with testing positive, meaning like obviously I wasn't happy, but I was going to do something about it. I was going to get checked, and I didn't care whatever it was to take care of it and stay on top of it as far as maintenance was concerned. Didn't really realize what it entailed.
So what does it entail for you to stay on top of this BRCA2 gene as a guy?
Well, let me tell you about the first oncology appointment, surgery, excuse me. Let me tell you the first time I went into an oncology waiting room. There was about 20 women, and I went with Stephanie. We were gonna have an appointment together, so it was a little more comfortable.
This is your girlfriend who's been fighting cancer.
Correct. We were going to see her surgeon over at Cedars, Dr. Giuliano. He's top of the world. He wrote the book on sentinel node biopsies. So we go into the waiting room, and I'm sitting there, and I take the form, and I'm looking at the form, and all I can fill out is my name, because every other question was, when was your last period? Do you have vaginal dryness? And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, sometimes I'm in a bad mood, I'm eating ice cream, it's Lifetime movie of the week, but you know, it's not my period. And I had to turn the form back in, just with my name and date, basically, and I felt a little weird, but it progressed from there. You go and you change into your hospital regalia, which was a white robe and a huge pink ribbon. And I was thinking to myself, all right, you know what? I'm fine with this. I really am. I'm comfortable just with my sexuality, with everything. I could care less if it's going to save my life. So they put me in the robe, and we go in, and Stephanie gets examined first, and then I was examined. But before I was examined, the sheet was drawn, and a gentleman, I think it was a physician's assistant, was coming around the corner, and he said to me, he said, Mrs. Blass, and he realized when he came around the corner that it was a man. And it hit me right there. You know what? If I were by myself right now, I'd feel very uncomfortable. I'd feel alone, vulnerable, and I don't know if I'd come back. You know, I really don't know. And then the breast exam is an examination. I didn't mind that at all. In fact, I think it should be mandatory for all men to have a breast exam. You know, doctors they do a lot more invasive things to us than check our breast for 30 seconds. So I don't see why it's not part of it, you know, because it's such a low percentage. Doctors, you know, they just kind of overlook it.
Many times when they find breast cancer in males, excuse me, it's too late. It has progressed and it becomes deadly. You're a reality TV guy, reality movie guy, shooting documentaries, and we'll get to the Pink and Blue documentary that you're shooting to in just a moment. Are you trying to change the world in the best way you can to get people to wake up and look at your situation, albeit rare, all these members of your family? But you and I have talked about my sister with breast cancer, my first cousin with breast cancer. It's everywhere, and education, you say, is great because then you can make a decision about what you're going to do about something. So how, Alan, as this LA guy now from Connecticut,
reality guy, LA
guy,
you can't label me.
How are you going to change the world? Because I know you're trying to do it.
It's a team. It really is. Like you said, your sister and your cousin and things like that. Everybody has an experience with some type of cancer. It's going to hit us all. I've said that before. And it takes a team. It takes, you know, it takes a group in Cincinnati, the Pink Ribbon Girls. You know, it's male organizations in Philadelphia. His breast cancer awareness. It's a male organization. There are not many out there protect the pecs. It's going to take a team to start talking about things like this. Look, it's not one or the other, and it's not pink or blue, it's both. The pink should be as pink as it can be, the blue as it can be, but there's not enough awareness. You know, we talk about breast cancer a lot. Everybody, if you were to say, what does pink mean to you? I believe most of the people would say it has to do with breast cancer. No one knows what the blue is. And because of the topic, I want breast cancer to be talked about. I want male breast cancer. I want male breast cancer to be talked about. So it's not me, it's a bunch of us. It's a whole group of people that share something in common. And there's, you know, not many times you can win versus cancer, but this is something that we can at least challenge cancer to, you know, and at least have an advantage over. And the more education, the better. From everybody, from kids to parents to everything. They can't be scared. What happened was, with BRCA, it got muddied in California. You know, the definition of BRCA got muddied with Angelina, and it was wrong.
Explain this.
Well, now you say reality, I'm gonna say news. People out there, as far as newscasters, press, took the Angelina story, her op-ed piece about her choice, having BRCA1, to have a prophylactic double mastectomy. They never explained the educational side to it. It just became Angelina. It just became the face and who she is, unfortunately, because there was a huge time and platform where this could have been spread, you know, and a bad word, but the information could have been disseminated on a larger scale than I can do, you know, but unfortunately it was because Angelina, the actress, she made a decision that was the best for Angelina. She had an 80% chance of having breast cancer, and I highly doubt 90% of the people read the op-ed page. There was a survey done, I think, somewhere where no one knew what BRCA was out of 4,500 people.
Sure.
10%
Unless
really
you're hit
kind of
with it.
knew. Exactly. So Pink Lotus, where she had her surgery done, they took a hit. People were calling them and saying, oh, Angelina did it for breast augmentation, for attention. And it's like, Brad Pitt and Angelina need attention. I mean, you can't fight stupid, and I realize that. So I'm doing what I can, being surrounded by it. I just feel that I need to pay it forward somehow, you know, for my family, for myself. I've always wanted to do something in the cancer realm. It didn't hit me until male breast cancer started floating into my world.
Okay, so we saw Pink and Blue, which is the name of your documentary. How much have you shot? Where is it going to go? What's the dream that it gets on a big screen somewhere? Where are you headed with this? Because you know what you're doing.
A little bit. I'm actually just kind of stepping back and just letting things guide itself, if that makes sense, because this is such a...
What do you mean by that?
I'm a universal energy person. You're going to say LA, but it just feels like there's such momentum behind this film. There's so much serendipity as far as connections are concerned that it just feels like everything's moving itself. Now, Pink and Blue, we've shot at Cedars already. We're shooting at Pink Lotus, where Angelina had her breast surgery with Dr. Funk, who performed her surgery. We're going to follow one of her staff members who has BRCA2 through her prophylactic double mastectomy. So we're shooting that, that's upcoming, and we're gonna be shooting in Philadelphia, that his breast cancer awareness with the brother and sister who started that organization.
So you're getting the male awareness thing out
Yes.
there now? Okay.
Yes, and I really wanna punch home the blue. You know, there may not be a huge percentage of men dying, but they're dying. And somebody needs to say something about it, or at least pay attention to it, know it's out there. I talk to more people that don't know men can get breast cancer or test positive for the BRCA gene. It hurts. And more when I hear this, and people in the medical profession are saying they don't know, it just makes me, you know, I just get more focused, and I get...
You have the BRCA2 gene. Is there anything prophylactically that you should do?
Should is every 6 months I should get a breast exam, and I've had I call it manogram, which is a mammogram. So every 6 months, but the doctor, I've also brought up the fact that, what about a double prophylactic mastectomy for myself? And the percentage is up to 12% for breast cancer. And As long as I do maintenance and watch it, I feel I'm okay in that realm. I trust my doctor enough to watch it. Never realized what a mammogram actually entailed, because my girlfriend comes home.
Welcome to those.
I'm a sister.
So I want to help you in any way that I can to get this word out. You're wearing some bracelets.
I am pink and blue.
Pink and blue. And I just want to note that we do see the pink on here, but blue is a lot stronger for a reason, because you're really going to hit the blue with this?
Definitely. We know the pink. You know, the pink would, in society, the pink would cover the
Right.
bracelet.
Right.
But for this, it's the pink and blue. The pink, everybody, you know, we all congregate to pink, but what we need to do is look at blue a little bit too. And that's one of the things my nephew and my
These are all
sister
the rage,
Lisa.
the rainbow
I
bracelets,
know.
right?
I didn't know that.
See?
Because I'm a LA guy, but they told me back east, and I said, you know, they wanted to be part of it and helping out as well. And they started making these, and I just think it's great. I wear them, I give them out as much as I can. And people, you know, it's not the regular plastic, you know, Live Strong or one of those. It's a little different. And people ask, hey, what's that about?
As we wrap this up, how can people help you help a whole bunch of folks who don't even know they have cancer yet?
To help us right now is we had a successful crowdfunding.
A Kickstarter.
Kickstarter was successful. A lot of people really came together and made that happen. So there are people that want to see this go to big screen. We want to get it to film festivals and HBO. We want to get it up on the big screen. We want attention to the movie so people are educated. That's the main purpose is. If we can save one life, I would give everything I had, LA guy or not, I would do it. You know, if we can save one family from having to hear their loved one scream in pain in a hospital at 3 a.m., I would do it, hands down. So how can people help? Get behind us, you know, spread the word. There is male breast cancer, you know, BRCA2. Men can carry BRCA1, BRCA2. It's a little uncomfortable for men, but you go through.
Get over it.
Get over it.
How do they get a hold of you? Is there a website? Is there an email? How do they get a hold of you?
There is. We have a Facebook page under Pink and Blue Movie, and also it's www.pinkandbluemovie.com. You can get a lot of information as far as male breast cancer, BRCA, and you can donate, which really helps. It brings it to a whole new level as far as you know, people that support it.
Alan, thanks so much for coming out from Los Angeles back home to Connecticut. Really important topic, and I wish you luck and all your family too. No more cancer.
Thank you for everything. I appreciate
again.
it.